Hello, 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 hello. Happy after Easter. I always in braids. Yeah. Okay. I haven't had braids in like forever. So I kind of feel excited about this one. So then they are giving what they're supposed to give. Anywho, how are you guys? How was your Easter weekend? It was so long. You remember last week I told you I was supposed to be somewhere with an exotic view? Well, she happened. But I'll tell you about that in another video once this is handled. Because, hey, I am emotional and I am going through a lot. Anyway, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the love you gave on last week's video. Please guys, please comment on my videos, okay? Like, share, subscribe, you know the drill. And if you're new here and this video has reached you somehow, I would like to ask you to welcome to the family, and please subscribe on my YouTube channel. I want to grow. I want to become those big YouTubers. Okay. Welcome to my today's video, and today I want us to talk about HIV disclosure. This is probably going to be a series. I told you last week I started a series of self-care. I'll keep adding on that playlist, and I'll also keep adding on this playlist on, I think there's already an existing playlist on HIV disclosure, and I've done like just 2 videos, so this is another one. So what is HIV disclosure? HIV disclosure is basically opening up about your HIV status to people. Can be your friends, can be your family, can be the public, can be your healthcare provider, can be your sexual partner, can be your spouse. So whoever it is that you're opening up to, can be your children as well. That is what it means to disclose, or rather to open up that you are living with HIV and tell people in your life. However, is it something that you need to do? No, it's not. As long as, I always say, disclosure is not a one-day job. Just the same way HIV acceptance is not a one-day job. It took me 23 years to accept my HIV status, to come to terms with the fact that I am now living with HIV. I have this particular virus and now move on with it, right? So, disclosure is the same. It's a journey. It's an everyday job. The problem with a lot of people living with HIV is you get tested today, or rather you get diagnosed with HIV today, you start your ARVs today, and you also want to do disclosure and acceptance today. It doesn't work like that. It's not a package. This is a process. Living with HIV is the same thing as handling life. When it comes to handling life, you don't just handle life like everything like that on one day, right? It's like eating a buffet. This is not a buffet. This is a 5-course meal. You have to eat the starter, where is the testing. You go to the first course, you go to the second course, up until you're on the 5th course. So you start by taking yourself to a treatment, to a care facility, or deciding to test at home. Then you go to a facility, you get tested again, and then you now start the treatment. You see, it's not a one-day journey. It's a rolling stone, right? So it's the same way as disclosure. So disclosure can happen in different ways. A person like me, I disclose to the public, like everybody, even your cats and your rabbits and your dogs at home know that I am living with HIV. So for me, I did that. But that is not how it always was, because my disclosure was done to me, to other people in my family without me. Like I was, for lack of a better word, I was robbed the chance of disclosing my HIV status to other people. So my family members and some of the family friends knew about my HIV status without my consent. Let me just put it like that. Because if somebody had asked me, I probably would not have wanted them to know, and maybe just, but now it was already taken away. So I also gave it away when I publicly started living with HIV. But it's not a thing that I woke up and say, I want to start living publicly with HIV. No, it didn't happen like that. It's a very long process. So what do I mean by disclosure can happen in different ways. You can decide that it's just you and your healthcare provider who know your HIV status, and there is nothing wrong with that. You can decide that it's you and your family members, that I mean maybe your spouse or maybe your brothers and sisters. Some of us have brothers and sisters who maybe some of them are not as understanding, so you can like choose to leave those ones behind and just find those ones who are like your support system and they support you through this. Some people can choose to make it their friend, right? Some can choose a religious leader and they walk the journey with you. Some people actually choose to just share with me. It is funny, but yeah, some people actually, the healthcare provider and themselves are the only people who know they're living with HIV. And it's such an honor, actually. So, oh, thank you. So, apart from the external people, now there are people who are actually living with HIV and they are like parents and have not told their children. You see, that is different, because if you haven't told your children, parents actually, I find like they really have a very hard time discussing the HIV status with their children. I don't know why. And maybe one day I will be able to talk to a parent who can shed light. But a lot of the cases that I have gotten from parents, from children about their parents, is most of them don't discuss their HIV status with their parents. But the number one disclosure that I find it so strange that people are okay with not disclosing their HIV status to their close friends and relatives and parents, but they are okay with disclosing to their sexual partners, which is actually very important. So what happens with your sexual partner? So you have a person, your spouse, your friend with benefit, your situationship, whatever it is, but the two of you are having sex, or somebody who actually wants you in their life, because some of you find out you're HIV positive and the person you are having sex with actually bails out on you and now you are on your own. So like now you have a new person. So this is where it's always a little bit difficult for most people living with HIV. So what do you do? How do you tell this other person? Because with family and friends and relatives, there's no really criteria. There's no right time as well. It's when you are comfortable in your own skin and then you choose, yeah, I'm going to tell them. Because the thing is about living with HIV, you have HIV, you have HIV. So it doesn't matter how you say it. Whether you say it in Latin or Spanish or Portuguese, it's still going to be, I am HIV positive, period. Okay? So never going to be any other way of saying it. But for relatives, family, and friends, it's usually very easy, I think. I think that is like the easiest disclosure. But for sexual partners, it's usually hard because maybe I think we tend to get a little bit emotionally attached to them and we don't want them to hurt us. We don't want them to leave us because that is a very emotionally sensitive part. You know, if you tell your cousin you have HIV and they're like, cool. You see, they don't care. You don't care. You don't even mind that they just said cool. But if you tell your sexual partner and they're kind of cold, I think we have pre-programmed ourselves as people living with HIV because of the stigma that this person is going to say no to me. They're going to act cold. So you are always prepared. Like, whatever happens, I'll take my L. I'm going to leave this human being alone because there was a time I didn't know them. Okay. I am assuming that is what goes through our minds. But a lot of people, that is our particular scenario. We always say we can just take our L and leave, right? But some people actually don't mind us as people living with HIV. They don't mind dating people living with HIV. They don't mind you as a person living with HIV. They're just like, we're good. But you have to tell them that you are living with HIV. Okay? So what are some of the good and bad ways of disclosing? Let me start with a story. So when I was in my younger days, when my heart had the politics of dating and falling in love, I used to, I disclosed to a couple of people. Now, before I came out publicly, because before I came out publicly, of course, I was dating other people. So the first time I disclosed to a person, they were so nice. As in, I don't think I have ever found somebody who has been... Most of the people now tend to just ignore the fact that I'm living with HIV, which is I don't think it bothers me. But that time, because I had not come out and I really wanted the reassurance from them, they were so nice. They were so nice. Oh, moment of silence for them. Okay, actually, like that guy, I think I've even done a video about how I told him my HIV status and he did not take it very negatively. So yeah, he was really, really nice. And we dated for a while, but yeah, didn't really happen. He just, yeah, I don't know why that relationship ended. I actually don't know why that relationship ended. Anyway, so then the second person I disclosed to is the one that left me along Gong Road. You have seen that story. It's like one of my most famous stories. You people just love tragedy. Anyway, then the third person now that, you know, those were like now, okay, even the second person I disclosed to, the first and second person, I sent a text and I said, hey, there's something I need to tell you. And they're like, what is it? And I was like, I'm HIV positive. So you see, I just did that. So I always recommend disclosing via text. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So the third person I disclosed to, now this one, there are 2 times in my life I have disclosed my HIV status badly. Time 1 was now with this third person. So this third person, I told them he did something wrong to me and I was very mad at him. So I was like, you know what? Hell have no fury like a woman scorned. So what did Doreen Mora do? Doreen Mora did an interview on the national dailies and I sent him a link. Like a boss. Okay, that was not a boss move, but yeah, I did that to them. So he did not like take it in a bad way. He kind of just said, we can talk about it, we can work through it, we can date. But then after that, the relationship just became rocky, and I think a year and a half later, we kind of parted ways. So that was the first incident that that is a bad way of disclosing. Don't ever do that. Don't send them links that you have done public interviews, because right now I'm in a dating site. Okay, there was some slight changes, so I am in a dating site and the people in that dating site don't know that I'm actually living with HIV. So I am kind of happy that now I also get to disclose my status again. Okay, that is hoping that they actually don't know me from social media, because my site is not attached to my profile is not attached to my social media handles. So this is hoping that they don't actually Google me, because if they Google me, then I am done. But for now, I'm feeling happy because they do not know that I have HIV. So not like good in that particular way, like they don't know. No, in a particular way that now I get to have the power to disclose again, because I have not had that in a long time. Yeah, see the things that make me happy. Anywho, so the other time that I disclosed was not really, I disclosed to the guy and then he cheated. He actually deserved this, because he introduced me to that girl. He introduced me to the other girl and told me that was his sister. How? Anyway, so what did I do? I went behind his back. I sent the girl a message. I told her, you know what, but I have HIV, sis, and we have not been using condoms. Okay, that was really manipulative. Yeah. Me and that girl are no friends. So anyway, so that was also a wrong move. So don't do that. Do not disclose to third party. Don't. Okay? Bad move. So what are the proper ways of disclosing your HIV status? 1, ask them, what do you feel, or rather, what do you think about people living with HIV? Start with, do you know your HIV status? When was the last time you tested? Can we test together? How would you react if I came out HIV positive? That way, it gives you an insight. There's this particular person I almost dated, and because of my text, I am telling you, texts work like magic. So I asked him, will you date a person living with HIV on text? And he was like, no. Why would I leave all the HIV negative girls out there and date a positive one? And I was like, fair enough. And I left him and I continue moving. But now he is back and he is telling me he wishes he had dated me, blah, blah, blah. You know all those stories, right? So you understand. So we never got to reach that point of dating, because I decided to cut it off at that particular point where he told me he had a preference. His preference was HIV negative women. I will not take that away from him, even if I am amazing. I cannot take that away from him, okay? So if you ask somebody and they give you a negative review about dating with HIV, please, 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 don't force it. Whether you, even if you are the Beyonce of the Beyoncés, don't force it, because he will never look at the human being aspect of you. He will always be looking at you from the aspect of a person living with HIV. Okay? So start by saying it, by knowing what they know about HIV. Thing 2, don't disclose on a first date. Please do not. Thing 3, don't disclose after you have had sex with this person. If you have had sex with a person and you had not told them that you're living with HIV, I would advise you leave that person alone. Or you have sex with them until you find their replacement. I am not a moral cop. I'm just saying. That is also another option. Why I am saying that is because when you have sex with a person and you had not told them that you're living with HIV, they always tend to think that your intentions were to infect them with HIV in the first place. Even if you are, you're undetectable. I see a lot of DMs and inboxes on my socials and people are telling me, but Doreen, I am undetectable. And I am not disputing the fact that you're undetectable. You are taking your drugs correctly and consistently. You are undetectable. But does this person know what it means to be undetectable? Does this person have the mindset of a person that you actually are not going to infect them? Do they know that? I don't think so. So don't ever assume that people know a lot about HIV. Trust me, out here, the myths and misconceptions are always winning for some reason. So please, if somebody tells you, if you already had sex with them, leave them alone. Okay, enjoy the sex for a while and then leave them alone. I know that is bad advice, but just leave them alone if you don't ever plan on. Don't get pregnant for them, okay? As women, as men, don't impregnate this woman. Just don't infect this person. Leave them alone, okay? Because if you have sex with this person, you did not use protection. Yes, you know you are undetectable. They will never look at you the same. Because if this is your sexual partner, you are going to be exchanging sexual fluids. You need to be a little bit honest with them. And if you don't, you're not planning on any form of honesty, enjoy the sex while it lasts and leave the person alone. I am telling you this because this might save you a lot of pain, of drama, of trauma, of all of those things, okay? Another thing, ensure that that you don't go with a PT card. Don't ever use PT to disclose your HIV status. Oh yeah, I am living with HIV. Oh, I was born with it. I did not choose to be this way. Nobody wakes up and chooses to be HIV positive. If you're going to disclose, say it the way it is. I am HIV positive. Simple and clear. If they don't want you, let them continue working. If they want you, they will sit down with you. They will discuss this relationship with you. They will discuss the dynamics of this relationship with you, and they will stay there with you. Because at the end of the day, you're just HIV positive. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? Another thing that I would like to advise, and so I see this actually happening a lot, and I don't want this video to be long, but anyway, a lot of you are worried about your HIV status before you even start dating this person. Leave your HIV burden sometimes. Leave it at home. ARVs are carrying that burden on your behalf. Stop carrying it everywhere. Oh, I am living with HIV. How are they going to see me? Oh my God, now I am sick. No. If they've invited you to go for a beautiful road trip, go. Carry condoms, though. I once had a crush on someone, and when I asked his friend, do you know about so and so? And he was like, yeah, he's a nice guy, but use condoms. I have never recovered. Anyway, he's a doctor, so yeah, that is how they think. So, as I was telling you, if he has offered to take you on a beautiful trip, go to that trip, but use condoms. Always insist on using condoms if you know that they don't know your status yet, okay? Leave your HIV status at home. Stop being worried and now you're in my DMs like, Doreen, this guy has asked me for a coffee date. It is just coffee. It is just coffee. Go and drink your coffee and go back home. First of all, analyze this person. I have once gone to a date and I slept throughout the date. God, I was sleepy. Okay, that man was boring, but yeah, I was so sleepy because, you see, if I had gone there with, now I have HIV and then now I have to be bored with this person. You see? So leave your HIV status at home. You see, the way you apply your makeup like this, the way you dress nicely, by the time you step out of your house, you are leaving HIV on your doorstep. You will come pick it up later on when you come back home, okay? But when you're going for the date, go for the date, enjoy the date, laugh at his lame jokes. Most of the jokes are lame, but laugh at the jokes, eat the food. If you have been invited for coffee, please strictly make it coffee. Don't go and start asking for ugali samaki. And yeah, and go back home. As you know this person, you get to range how much sense do they have. Besides, why are you worried about their HIV status when you don't even know their own HIV status? Maybe they're also positive and they're afraid of telling you that they're positive. Hello? Okay? So, when it comes to HIV disclosure, there is no timeline. I can't tell you, wait 3 years and then disclose. I can't tell you, wait 3 months and then disclose. I can only tell you, do it at a time you feel comfortable. Okay? Another thing, and this one goes to women. Women, please. Men, post these parts. Come back after 1 minute. Women, stop telling your sexual partners that nobody else knows your HIV status. Please stop. Now I am handling cases of women facing GBV because the men know that the family members of these women do not know their HIV status. So they're taking advantage. God, they're taking the worst type of advantage. So please, don't tell your sexual partner. If your family members don't know, it does not concern him. Tell him, I have told my friends, I have told my relatives, so that they don't use it as leverage against you. Please, women, please, okay? Men, now you can come back. Now we can continue with this story. So, ensure that you and your partner are always reading from the same page. You and your partner are always seeing things from the same perspective. And ensure that if they don't like people living with HIV, at no particular point will they ever like you. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is the truth. They don't like you. It's not you, it's not your HIV status. They just have a type and you're not it, okay? It's just the same way a guy can be attracted to skinny girls and you are a thick girl and you think that you're going to change him because you're amazing. No, he doesn't like you. He does not like thick girls. He likes them skinny. If he likes them thick, he does not like them skinny. If he likes whatever he likes, he doesn't like the other part that you're not. So don't force yourself in places where these people don't like you in that particular way. That way life is going to be easier. Also, don't have expectations that these people are going to accept you and love you and what. At some point, they might change on you. So always be very open-minded, okay? But doesn't mean that people are wicked out there. That doesn't mean that people who are not living with HIV are wicked. No. When you tell, actually, a lot of the guys I know have really commended me and told me that I really appreciate the fact that you actually told me your HIV status earlier because I love your honesty. So be honest as possible. Even if this person leaves you, I told you, unless this person is your parent, you do not care. You are not supposed to care, okay? If they don't like you because you're HIV positive, then bounce, okay? They'll bounce as well. You will meet in heaven, at the gates of heaven. So up to this particular point, I really hope that we're together on the disclosure part. Disclosure does not have a timeline. Disclose when you're comfortable. Follow my rules, follow my do's and don'ts. Rule number 1, no disclosing on first dates at all. Rule number 2, do it on text. Always works. 10 out of 10. Come back with the results, okay? Up to this particular moment, I just want to say thank you. Subscribe to my channel and see you next week with a brand new video. Bye-bye from the amazing Doreen Moracha, okay? Toodles.